What's up with it, fam? Thank you for tuning in to B.Y.O.B. Bring your own Bible. What we believe the Bible is basic instruction before leaving earth. The Bible is a book of principles, prophecies, promises, and plans that God had laid out in our life that we can live a purposeful life. Thank you for tuning in. While you listening, make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe. We're on all platforms. Tell somebody B.Y.O.B. is live, lit, and local. Let's go.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of BYOB. Y'all know this whole month of June, we have been talking about squad goals.
Yeah.
And each week, we have taken a different Bible story. Example, Ruth and Naomi, the prodigal son, David and Jonathan. We've just taken different Bible stories to show, hey, God really has left a blueprint of the simplest things, you know, like what friendship should look like. How can we be better friends? How do we choose our friends? He has literally left a blueprint of all of those things. And we are not by any means going to slight you today because we always tell you that there is tea in the text.
Wow.
It's some good stuff in the good book, y'all.
Yeah, it's a mess in that thing.
It's just a matter of figuring out what is it you're looking for, right? So today we are coming out of 2 Kings chapter 7. We are about to dive right into it. Y'all see I'm cheesing real hard because I got both of my boys with me today.
What?
Our oldest is in from Japan, so shout out to our big baby and our big boy. They're both here today. Well, they're young men, but y'all know how it is. Yeah. Anyways, that's the reason for the cheese today. But let's get into the squad goals in 2 Kings chapter 7. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read the text, right?
Read, Dooley.
Come on now. Read the word. Y'all, I'm telling you, when you read that New Living Translation, though, what float your boat?
I want King James. I want the original.
the version that you understand, because y'all, it plays a whole video in your brain. Like you really can visualize it based off of which version you read. So before I jump straight into 2 Kings 7, a little bit of pretext, right? So in 2 Kings, there is a war going on. When we were talking, he was like, shoot, child, pretty much like today, because Israel fighting today.
They are. The same people fighting, they still fighting.
They were fighting way back in Bible days and fighting again today. But the Armenian army had taken siege of Samaria, right? Or
that's where they
enemies
located.
of Israel, whatever. So when you take siege, they literally surrounded. They didn't just go straight in and just start fighting and killing and taking and stuff, right? But they surrounded the city so much to the point where they were causing the people to starve and just resort to like some ridiculous stuff. Because I do remember when the women went before the king and they were gonna eat the children.
Yeah, because they doing
one lady boiled her kid.
Cannibalism. So then they eating
resorting to some like
donkey head. They were eating bird poop. Like when it started riding the street, they were doing everything can to survive. But that's war. Instead of I would rather just go out and fight. We gotta do all that, man. We gotta go and get it in.
Yeah. But it got so bad, you know, that these two women get together and they say, okay, like we can boil our kids and eat them. So one lady boils the kid, the other lady hides her kids. It had gotten to that point, right? So
the real Southern classic.
Oh, that is so nasty.
Deep fried.
And I'm saying that being a 21st century person, knowing that, hey, we can go get some seeds or grains and start a garden, or you know, you can just go like people eat squirrels and coons and rabbits and all kind of things.
Talk about your childhood. She from the country. She from the country, so she talking about her childhood.
So I didn't eat those things, but my people did.
Wow.
Shout out to the country folks. You know, it's all good.
Testify, sister.
Anywho, the pretext shows just how bad it had gotten.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's get into chapter 7.
Yeah.
So again, this New Living Translation is where I'm coming from.
It's the prophet Jeremiah. He's writing.
Chapter 7. Elisha replied, listen to this message from the Lord. This is what the Lord says. By this time tomorrow in the markets of Samaria, 6 quarts of choice flour will cost only 1 piece of silver, and 12 quarts of barley grain will cost only 1 piece of silver. The officer assisting the king said to the man of God, that couldn't happen even if the Lord opened the windows of heaven. But Elisha replied, you will see it happen with your own eyes, but you won't be able to eat any of it. Now there were 4 men with leprosy sitting at the entrance of the city gates. Why should we sit here waiting to die? They asked each other. We will starve if we stay here, but with the famine in the city, we will starve if we go back there.
You got choices.
So we might as well go out and surrender to the Armenian army. If they let us live, so much the better. But if they kill us, we would have died anyways. So at twilight, they set out for the camp of the Armenians. But when they came to the edge of the camp, no one was there. For the Lord had caused the Armenian army to hear the clatter of speeding chariots and the galloping of horses and the sounds of a great army approaching. The king of Israel had hired the Hittites and Egyptians to attack us, they cried to one another. So they panicked and ran into the night, abandoning their tents, horses, donkeys, and everything else as they fled for their lives. When the men with leprosy arrived at the edge of the gate, at the camp, they went into one tent after another, eating and drinking wine, and they carried out silver and gold and clothing and hid it. Finally, they said to each other, this is not right. This is a day of good news, and we aren't sharing it with anyone. If we wait until morning, some calamity will certainly fall upon us. Come on, let's go back and tell the people at the palace. So they went back to the city and told the gatekeepers what had happened. We went out to the Armenian camp, they said, and no one was there. The horses and donkeys were tethered and the tents were all in order, but there wasn't a single person around. Then the gatekeepers shouted the news to the people in the palace.
Good story.
That was a lot, but it was a good story. I hope you were able to visualize that, because visualization, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It just plays a movie. But the fact that Elisha had just prophesied to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, by this time tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we've heard so many sermons before, prophecies that say by this time tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you be kind of skeptical. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's tomorrow. You're watching the clock, and you really don't have the faith, or you're just not believing. And sometimes it's not that I don't believe God can. Mm-hmm. It's just, well, it hadn't happened before like this. Why would it happen now?
Yeah.
Should I really trust what this person is saying? But God proved himself strong. Elijah spoke, and God made it happen like that, right?
Studying the scriptures, looking at his record. Yeah. When you study Elijah's record, every time he say something, he spent time with God. This the man that every time he spoke and said something, you saw the hand of God. And that's a point right there for y'all that's watching. If you are connected to a ministry, church, or leader, make sure that person is hearing from God, that you're in the right place at the right time. And that's what we see in the scriptures. The backstory to this, like Lady M was saying, they under siege, they being attacked. All their supply line, that's a good way to attack somebody, is to attack their supply line. Supplies are coming in, the people are not having food. What better way to get people either to turn on themselves, to get up and surrender, is to blockade them, and that's what they did to take over. And then here it is, you got lepers that's outside of the city that's not allowed to go in. So they're stuck literally in between a rock and a hard place. They can go out and fight the people and lose their life. They can go back to the famine that's happened on the inside because of the blockade, or they could just stay there as lepers and just die. And somebody in the group said, listen, man, I don't know about y'all. We can't stay like this. We got choices. And I believe that speaks to everybody in here today. We all got choices, and we got to learn to make those choices. And that's why it's good to have people around you, because sometimes your squad can see other choices that you might not be able to see. Exactly. So again, trying to point.
So what I like, though, as I was reading it, I literally am seeing like a move of God, right?
Okay.
I'm seeing that sudden miracle, that sudden blessing, because sometimes we're in positions where we are so desperate and we need God so bad to just bust a move on our behalf. And I feel like if we just exemplify just enough faith to make him move, like talk to him enough to make him move on your behalf. Like, what is it to provoke God to move on my behalf? What is it to provoke the hand of God? What does that look like? How do I do that? Not just for me, but for my squad, for my friends, for my family, so that when we need him the most, when we have gotten literally stuck between a rock and a hard place, when we are down bad, that he moves suddenly. Like that right there, that ought to make your baby jump. It ought to make your soul happy, knowing that, like, I know that God can, I know that he will, and I know that he's able, but I want to believe and trust and know that something suddenly can happen in my life to change me for the better, to change my situation, circumstances, and surroundings for the better, to change those who are connected to me for the better. So that's something that I saw as I was reading that particular scripture of passage, but something else that kind of stood out, because, you know, we're talking about squad goals. So the squad today are the 4 lepers, right? This was a group of friends who obviously had leprosy. And, you know, when you have leprosy in those days, they were outcasts, which is why they were on the outside of the city. But for 4 friends to be afflicted by the same infirmity, and they collectively decide, listen,
we can't be like this.
We're going to have to move or die.
Wow.
We dying regardless, because our situation hasn't changed. We haven't gotten healed or anything of the sorts, right? Nobody is fooling with us. Ain't nobody dealing with us. Our family, we are alienated. All we have is each other. So we might as well be down for each other, ride for each other, whatever, right? But if we are going to die anyways, we might as well bust a move and just go see, because maybe there is a chance that we can survive, or that we can have more of a peaceful death. You know what I mean? If you already are in the belief that you are gonna die. But for a group of friends to collectively say, yo, like, you're right, let's move and have a fighting chance of something. At least have a last meal, something, right? For them to move collectively and together.
It's strong.
It is strong. It shows a bond, because now we alienated. Our actual blood family, they're not dealing with us no more. They're not fooling with us because they don't want what we had.
Yeah, no more.
I don't want to give them what I got, whatever. But this is my family now, right? So I'm riding with you. We sticking together. We in this together. We gonna live together. We gonna fight together. We gonna die together.
Literally.
So might as well just do this whole thing together, right? So that bond, that friendship, that connection, that willingness to move together, that willingness to fight together, die together. Now, in this 21st century, right? Who you know say, I'm gonna die with my friend. I'm gonna ride with you to the end. Nobody really talks like that, right? We're not literally busting moves like that. But I believe that what we should be doing now, because I ain't gonna tell you to go and risk yourself for nobody, right? But the concept of it, what are you willing to do for your friends on a spiritual level?
A wingman.
Like, how are you edifying and helping your friends to live spiritually? If nobody in the friend group is growing, nobody is prospering, nobody is progressing in life, in their finances, in their health, or in any way, somebody ought to be strong enough or bold enough to stand up and say, hey, y'all, we're not progressing. Nothing's changing. We're not moving. Nobody's growing. We all sick. We all broke, or whatever the situation may be. Somebody ought to be strong enough or bold enough to say, hey, it's not getting better here. We might as well move and take a chance here. At least we're trying.
Risk versus reward.
Risk versus reward.
Yeah, let's take a risk. We're going to lose anyway. I might as well lose big. I told somebody I want to lose. Yeah, you see that in your text message that I sent you. You can see those little points like jumping out. What we talking about when you're talking about just them key little things with, see you jumping to it. But the key little things to it, I say this, you say they friends, I just say they bedfellows. Those are people that you just end up coming together because of your condition. The Bible don't speak of whether they family members or they grew up together. Leprosy caused them to come together. And sometimes you have trauma bonds where you bond with somebody based off the trauma, the experience you went through. We both lost a job, or we both in the same situation, or we've had hard times. So then all of a sudden you create a bond with them outside of the people that could have been a family or whatever like that. Sometimes your habit, drug habit, addiction, different stuff like that. Now you at the AA meeting and you bonded with somebody else that struggled with the same thing you did. And so here it is. They got a choice, risk versus reward. Like, we could stay in this situation, this. And let me give you a little bit information about leprosy. Leprosy was highly contagious, and it was very, very gross, gruesome disease because literally your skin and your muscle tissue as well as your bone structure would deteriorate and detach from one another. So you could literally be, that's why I almost look like they're mummified when you see movies and stuff like that, because literally you could be talking and your jawbone separate, or you can see your arms or your fingers and stuff start to come off, which is crazy. This is worse than COVID. So imagine something like this going on. So of course, not having a type of proper treatment or health care, they kick them outside of it. That's why the scripture's so good, because you could cover all kinds of stuff. We can talk about health care right there, but just the need of the poor, those people that's going through, they outside of the city, they look at this risk versus reward. Either way, we die. So we could choose how we die, and they'll go to whatever you fail to confront, you will never conquer. Let's go confront this. What's causing this famine? Well, we can't eat, because you got to realize as leopards, they eat the crumbs that come from the city. So the city is in famine. So the city can't even give them crumbs. So now they starving. So if we stay here, we ain't gonna make it. So yeah, that's some good stuff you can move into.
Yeah. So I'm looking at some of the stuff you said. So you talked about like basically they chose not to be stagnant. Right. They decided to move so that they at least had a chance to at least have a decent meal or whatever. Yeah. Right. But something else you said here, it says, if we go back, there's famine. And then you said, don't go back to what's empty.
Right. You already know ain't nothing there.
These guys chose not to go back to what was familiar.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Is it because I don't want to give the people I love, my family, my mom, my brothers, sisters, whatever, I don't want them to get this and die? You know, I got it. So, I just got to deal with the consequences of it. But why did they not go back?
It ain't nothing there. It's a family. Ain't no point in me even going. Like you say, it might be family and friends there, but at the same time, they struggling, they doing bad. That speaks to culture and put it in context in 2025. It's the same thing. I was just telling my son that you have people, why are you leaving the military? You got people going back home to nothing. Hey, I'm gonna get out. You get out. You still people in the projects, people you went to school with, still sitting on the porch, people that lied and said they were going to college. It's 4 years later, they got a baby. They ain't went nowhere. So why go back to that when that ain't nothing? But what the enemy will do, or just your emotion will do, it'll trick you. Like, oh, I'm missing something. You'll get back home. Ain't nobody did that. I mean, when I came back home, I'm looking around, and I done went through this traumatic experience that changed my life. And I'm looking at people, they the same Jordans he had on when he was in 11th grade. He got the same one on. And I'm looking at some of my surroundings. Oh, these people ain't even changed. And sometimes it take you detaching from something so you won't be stagnant and say, listen, I ain't going back to that. I'm going to move forward. And what do that cost? Sometimes that costs friendship. Sometimes that costs connection with loved ones and people you associate with it. Our transition here, like, we can go back. to a situation that we left, or we can move forward. It was a choice. It's to make. You got to look at the camera. Make sure you're looking at the camera. Right. But at the same time, it's risk versus reward. It's almost like a calculated move, cold calculated move, because cold pour you got to cut off, and then you got to be willing to do it and survive. That's not for everybody, because everybody don't make it.
See, when you said the cold part is cutting off, one of the points that I wanted to make was these guys left familiarity.
Yeah.
They left what was familiar and
what was comfort, yeah.
Or what they knew, and they ventured off into the unknown, taking a chance, not knowing if the enemy was going to be there, not knowing if the enemy was there, is he going to let us survive? Will we be able to eat the crumbs from the enemy?
Yeah.
Like, not knowing, but willing to take a chance, because I can't go back to what was, because what was ain't happening no more.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing going on there. They dying almost like they dying like I'm dying, just not from the same.
They in the worst.
Right?
They in the worst situation.
So they chose not to go to what was familiar, but to venture off to see. And they didn't venture too far. Like, I don't know the literal distance, but they left home.
Yeah.
To go into the enemy's camp to get what it is that they needed.
Yeah.
Now I'm jumping a little bit ahead.
Go ahead.
But what I like about it is, as they were over there, even though they didn't go back to what was familiar, they went over there and they thought about the people they left behind.
Yeah.
They thought about, well, we can't, this blessing right here, this is too much for us.
Right.
Like, we can't do nothing with this. Like, we dying, but we eating good. We got all this silver and gold, but we can't go into the city and spend it. Like, we can't do anything with it. So they went back and they were a blessing to others.
They wasn't selfish.
They weren't selfish.
Yeah. We got some people that just died holding everything. Know you dying, finna just, I'm gonna let it die with me. Because I ain't letting it go.
They didn't allow comfort either to kill them.
Yeah.
They said, I mean, they could have just literally stayed where they were, and they could have just starved on to death, or let the leprosy take them, or whatever, right? But they chose not to let their comfort kill them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like, because it's a motivating factor. I'm not gonna stay with what's comfortable or what's familiar to me. I can't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result.
Yeah.
So they stepped outside of the comfort and the familiarity so that they could, have a chance. They just walked into something big, not even knowing. They took a leap of faith.
Yeah, but that's
literally.
And then that's a principle of everything in life. There's nothing in life that you achieve being comfortable. Whatever you go after, whether it's school, military, career, relationship, you can't get it unless you get uncomfortable. It's something about it gonna have you get out your shell, your personality. You step out on faith. You got to fill out the resume. You got to take the ASVAB. You got to take the, what it is to get in school? SAT. Yeah, you got to take the SAT. It's require you to get uncomfortable in something, whether the attention of the test or to make that change or to leave home or to try something. In order for you to achieve something, it's going to cause a level of uncomfort, and you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable if you're going to achieve anything in life. It's going to be that pressure. It's the weight of it. I was just telling the boys the other day when I was with them, it ain't easy. Trying to do the right thing, it costs discipline. Discipline is painful, because discipline says I can't do what I want to. Discipline says I can't just have all my desires. Every time I want something, I got to go do it. That's some man that don't have, the Bible says, a man that do not have discipline, and I'm paraphrasing Proverbs, is like a man that don't have borders. If you don't have those borders, principle around you, discipline around you to achieve, and say, listen, we're in a bad situation, but I'm not going to die like this. I'm choosing to make the right decision. Now, whether it costs me, now I don't know if I'm going to lose my life, but I do know if I ain't going to get it. But at least let me try to reach for it. And that's what they did. And then God bless them. And I believe God meets you when you put risk versus reward. All through the scriptures, we see as people take risks. You saw when we talked about a little bit about, when we talked about David and Jonathan, we talked about Jonathan, and Jonathan took that risk. He said, I'm moving on a maybe. Maybe God would deliver. He put that out there. He took a risk. He just taking a chance. And he just believing and trusting. And what we be wanting, especially spiritual people, we want the clouds to open up and then God to give you thumbs up. And I felt it in my belly when I got up. I knew that. But it ain't nothing in the scripture that you see that. When David got ready to fight Goliath, God didn't whisper in the ear, oh, you're going to kill him if you get out there. No, he got to go take this risk. I'm going to take this slingshot. I'm hoping this slingshot, this rock, makes something happen. But he's not in the point where he's just waiting on the cloud. And that's what we get hesitating about. And we hesitate to make steps and take risks. Because I heard somebody say, well, you want to make sure God and that. And I feel like this. I heard a preacher say this one time that resonated with me. Life is like a basketball court. And God lets you play long as you stay in bounds. He ain't calling every move. You want to shoot a three, shoot a three. You want to lay up, shoot a layup. If you want to pass the ball, pass the ball. God is not giving you every step. Now, this me. This all you do. Because some of y'all, God tell you what clothes to wear. He tell you how you ought to have your hair. He told you what car to buy. He told you what neighborhood to live. I don't know, because he don't talk to me like that. I wish we had a strong relationship. Some people might got a better relationship, and no pun intended, but I'm just saying, he never done me like that. I'm just speaking from my point of view, that God more practical as it relates to that. We have a deeper relationship than on top of the surface than whether or not I shave my head or not.
Yeah. So as you were talking about the risk versus the reward, I looked at some of the notes you had, and you said risk versus reward, but in your notes you said bold faith can break barriers.
That's it.
Think about the bold faith that these 4 lepers exemplified. These 4 lepers was like, hey, listen, this wall or this wall, which one we gonna try to climb? Which one we gonna try to break through or bust through? Like, which one we gonna climb over? You know what I mean? So they operated in bold faith.
Yeah.
Literally expecting to die anyways, regardless of which way we go, left or right, we're gonna die anyways. So we might as well take a leap of faith and see if the enemy gonna bless us or kill us.
Yeah.
Because we already know what it looks like where we are.
That's it.
So the bold faith that they operated in caused them to break some barriers that not only blessed them, but it blessed the whole town. It blessed the whole kingdom.
Bless your family.
Now everybody
eating because
we got horses and donkeys. We got silver and gold. We got food. The family.
Yeah, now the people that were less than, now you came up because you took a risk. And that's what you got to live. And I learned that's a balance. What do you do when you don't want to take the risk and then others didn't? Are you going to be selfish? Because they been like, shoot, they kicked us out of the city. They ain't care about us. Now we up, we on. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to let them starve. Because this was crazy. They still don't know that the people ain't here. They still bunker down not eating. They don't even know they can come out.
Even when they, like, if you go and you continue to read 2 Kings, because I read 1 through 11.
Come on, read.
If you keep going and you keep reading, you're gonna see the king get up in the middle of the night. He's like, oh no, it's a trick. It's a trick. They left everything, but they hide in the woods and they gonna. He
paranoid. Right? He paranoid.
Because it's like, why would they leave? Like, we ain't do nothing. But he don't know that the Lord caused them to hear.
The Lord caused them to hear an army come and got them fearful, and they didn't took off a sound.
The king don't know this yet, though. So he's thinking it's a strategic tactic. Trap.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
Get them to come out.
Set us up.
Yeah.
So it took a minute. They had to send some spies over and all that. But
it go in. But it goes to show you that even though it's right there in front of you, some people still can't see it. And so even though we got a connection, they probably back home trying to, hey, I'm telling you this real, showing you pieces. Look at this, I got this, and trying to say I know a situation that's better than the situation you're in. And we'll go back to what we said, poor man wills and despise, which they not poor no more because they showing up with it. But sometimes a person still can't, because they can't unsee what was. Like, you're a leopard. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I can't unsee how I saw you or I was initially introduced to you. And some of you are dealing with that as well. People in your life, they can't unsee who you are to realize who you're becoming. So then sometimes there's a frustration there because you saw me here, but you didn't realize I'm training, I'm developing, I'm growing. So that person, and sometimes when a person right in front of you can't see it, almost like a kid. Next thing you know, that person at your shoulder, They almost eye level. It's like it happened over a period of time. You just growing. And so that's what life is about. But then some people can't unsee how they initially saw you. So even though you have matriculated or you have trained and developed and matured, they still can't unsee this undeveloped, immature, whatever. Don't realize you done develop into a full woman, full man, into what God destined and designed. And that's why you got to be sure of. Like, I know you tripping, but I just got through eating all the bread and the gold, and we over here enjoying. They got wine. Like, you tripping. It's a trap. If it's a trap, I'm totally enjoying it. Yeah, so. Yeah. And then I like it because it shows that this group sit there and calculate it. They didn't just rush into it. Listen, if we go back, it's a famine, we're going to die. If we stay here, we're going to die because of what we have. But if we take a risk, we might die, but it's a good chance that they might spare us.
We won't die hungry.
Come on, man. And so that risk was calculated. That's what I'm saying in 2025. And I say this because we're 186 days to the new year. So you literally at the halfway point now that life can change for everybody for the year. So we got a 6-month run until we get to the end of the year. What could you challenge yourself to do? What risk in your life that you're not taking that in the next 6 months can change you, your family, and all them people connected to you? Because remember this, like you said, suddenly, once this stuff started turning around, when they ran into it, that's how you know it's the Lord. He give you blessings and add no sorrow. They didn't have to fight for this. They didn't have to wrestle over it. It just like doors just open up. And I was telling my wife that it seemed like we're in a field of favor. That stuff that was hard and you were trying to make it happen. Once you kind of take a risk, you'll find out that stuff was just laying there. Like, you serious? I can imagine you first getting there, you probably easy in there like, this serious? Yeah, man. This available. Like, go in that tent. Ain't nobody, you sure ain't nobody in the tent? Yeah, go. Hey, ain't nobody here. Hey, cause that's what you're doing. Cause I'll be paranoid. You walk in, then you like, hey, bro, hey, we on, baby. We on, man. Cause you don't know everything available. They people left food. We done came up. You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going back home to help out. Yeah. I might be a little bougie for 72 hours though. I'm coming ride on the horse in front of the gate. Yeah, I got a whole
upgrade from the donkey to the horse.
I got a whole wagon behind me. Just no, you got no horn. Yeah. I'm lit. Just right around the thing. Just like this. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, man. You gotta show out in front of them a little bit. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, the 4 lepers show us that faith doesn't always feel safe.
Yeah.
But it will always move.
It's not.
And then, I'm reminded, they say, if faith the size of a mustard seed. Y'all know how tiny a mustard seed is?
Yeah. Hey, shout out to my spiritual grandfather. He wrote a book like this. He said, faith that feels like lying.
Faith that feels like lying.
That's some crazy faith. Like, you talking crazy. Some of y'all be lying, though. But we talking about the faith that feel like lying, like this got to be God. It's nothing that I have did to put this in place. And then what I'm saying, I know it's nothing that I can do. It's out of my realm of knowledge, net worth as well, net worth and network. It's out of both of those reach. So if this happened for me, I know it got to be him. Yeah. All good and perfect gifts come from above, but certain gifts, I ain't smart enough to come up with that. Like that, I know that's God because I didn't, and that's what I feel like. That's what they received. Like, man, when them boys came back to the town or the family, when they showed them, bro, they didn't do that. Like, when y'all left here, y'all were lepers, y'all was dying. You ain't gonna make it. Y'all came back balling. Yeah, changing the whole place.
To show that somebody may be discouraged, like, okay, I messed up. Oh, I ain't on the right path yet. Or I haven't fully committed. Or I don't go to church.
I'm in a bad situation.
So you feel like God can't use you or won't use you.
Just don't know.
Because you feel like you don't meet the standard or whatnot.
Yeah.
But he used the most unlikely.
Man.
Who gonna listen to some lepers?
Yeah.
Who want to be around lepers?
Yeah.
How did these lepers come together? Well, we know they bonded over their situation, right? But at the end of the day, ain't nobody listen to us. Don't nobody respect us.
Yeah.
They really don't want us around, which is why we are outcasts. God used the most unlikely of people to bless a whole kingdom.
And you ought to be happy.
If he can use some lepers, I mean, dying, deteriorating, rotting flesh to bless a kingdom, what can he do with you?
That's it.
What can he do through you? What can he do for you?
If you'll take the risk.
Come on now.
But you got to take the risk, make yourself
better. Faith, you got to get your faith to make moves on your behalf.
He didn't make them get up. It wasn't no cloud breaking. Hey, y'all go take this, take the land. Nah, it was a choice. I jumped out on faith, had to trust in risk versus reward. And that's what we want you to take from today. Like, bro, brothers and sisters, you got to make that choice. Like, hey, okay, I see what this is. And I promise you, I've been there. Hey, this is a dead situation I'm in. I got a choice. Do I cut ties with this or do I just go back to it? Because I go back to it, I already know what it is.
Some stuff you're going to have to let go. They had to, like I said, they had to leave the familiar place.
You don't even know what's coming.
They had to leave what was comfortable because, honestly, I don't think it was comfortable no more. It was comfortable until it wasn't.
Yeah, then it got uncomfortable.
It got uncomfortable.
When ain't no food coming in,
I got to move around because something has to change.
Yeah,
my situation has to change. So if I don't change what I'm doing,
that's it. Block the food from the famine in the place you were receiving crumbs from. They got famine now, so they don't have nothing to hand down you. We ain't even getting crumbs no more. We already doing better. We should have settled for the crumbs. But sometimes in your life, crumbs is good enough. Like, you like, all right, man, it ain't the best job. It's a dead end. I don't see myself here long term. I can't retire. I thought I was going to be here for 6 months till I get on my feet. I've been here 2 years. You seen that. And sometimes you get happy about the crumbs. And then the pandemic or something happened. Or the federal government start cutting jobs. They'll make you go back to that idea, the plan you had to open up your own business and do that. And sometimes I learned running scared to have you like that. Yeah. Sometimes when everything get online and you running out of choices, it'll make you get uncomfortable to the point like, sure, it's bad anyway.
They use their rock bottom as a lunch.
Man, that's it.
When your back is against the wall and you feel like you have
I ain't got nothing else
to go, nobody else to turn
I'm out here
nobody to talk to, you got to use that situation as a luncheon pad.
When you ain't got nothing.
But oftentimes what we do is when we're in these situations, because I have been in situations, right? And I go in the closet and I just be crying like, Lord, why? I'm a good person. I have a good heart. I love you. I go to church and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Why you let me suffer like this?
That's what you be doing in the closet?
Why you let me suffer?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You are crazy.
Golly.
The point I'm trying to make, sir, is
man,
I know what it feels like to feel like your back is against the wall or you have hit rock bottom. And when you feel like that, that's when you have to use that situation as a luncheon pad. Think of the people who, and I've said this so many times, the successful people, when you hear their story and they say, well, it got to the point where I was homeless and I was in my car. Now all of a sudden you're a millionaire.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing left.
They took their rock bottom and used it as a luncheon pad. I can't go nowhere but up from here.
Man, that's it. And you see some of the great people, like you said, that story. I know people be hating on Elon Musk. You dropped out of college. Boom. Tyler Perry. Live. Yeah, you got so many people.
Homeless in your car.
And then one of the things is that's crazy, it says now that you got to let fear fuel your faith. Let fear fuel your faith because you can use the fear. And it said, even with fighters, one of the worst people you ever want to fight is a scared person. Because they so fearful, that person kill you. For real, because in their mind, this life and death. Now, you got on your mind, you just finna beat them, not today. Because in their mind, they not taking it. Man, they fight for their life. And if you fight somebody that's fear of life or death is over with, the heavyweight champion of UFC now, they just passed along from John Jones. They were trying to get him to fight. I can't think of his name now, but he from Bridge. But that's what he said. What they failed to realize, he's 6'5", 260, 70 pounds. He said, they don't realize, though, I'll be scared. They said, well, how you be with? Because listen, he knocked out people within the first round, within the first minute. They said, why? He said, I'd be terrified when I'm in there. But the thing is, he's big, but he fighting other people that's big. And they were like, what, man, come on now, you too big to be. He said, I'm not lying to you. I don't ever want to fight nobody. But he's the heavyweight champion of the world. He's like, no, I hated the idea of fight. That's why he come out so aggressive, because he don't want to be caged in like that. And you think this is so crazy, but what he said, I have learned to take my fear, and when he hit people, it's look like God hit them. They drop to the ground, because he hitting them with everything. Because I don't want to fight you. Yeah. So this one, if I could just hit you this one and he hit him this one time, and it's so crazy because they interviewing. He just don't look like the type of person to be fearful. And I was like, man, he found a secret sauce. He taking his fears and he used them. And that's what we fail to do in life. We'll have fears and we'll let fears freeze. And they say you got a choice: fight, flight, and another one is freeze. A lot of people don't talk about that. They talk about the flight, where you just take out running because fear got you. You just gone. People panic and they'll just take off. Or you could choose to fight. Like, nah, I ain't running today. Or you got people that just will freeze up. You won't make a choice at all. And some people are like that. Failure to lunch, failure to go, failure to try to achieve. You so scared of failure to the point you won't even try. And I would tell somebody, what is life about? What is life about if you won't even try or attempt to achieve your goal or chase your dream? Look up 20, 30 years later, be on the job and say they regret it. And you looking at it like, bro, you've been doing, I never wanted to do it. Like, what did you want to do? Here it is, you crashing out. People say you have midlife crisis for males. Women go to menopause, have different stuff going on, and just feel like, because they feel like life then got away from them and they didn't get a chance to do what they want to do. It's your life. Like, what do you mean you didn't get a chance to chase your dream or go do what you need to do? Because fear had you. And sometimes fear will have you handcuffed to a comfortable situation and you just accept what is. And just a year roll around, 2 years roll around. I was just telling my son that it's almost been a whole year. Now I said, go back and in your mind, you ain't got to do this out loud in public, but analyze all the people you graduate with. Everybody lied. I'm going to college. I'm just taking the summer off. This is why I said, why do people think they can take the summer off? You had 17 summers, and parents do this too. Let me help some of y'all. How in the world your kid graduate and you telling them, well, yeah, just, it was hard on you, take the summer off. No, you ain't a kid no more. You just had 17 summers. When your senior year comes, you don't get a summer no more, because guess what? School don't start for you in August because you're a man or you're a woman now. You don't get no summer off. And that's what people do. You'll let that trap you. And I was telling him, because I remember the same thing, just analyze people. People lie. Oh, yeah, I'm going to the military, ain't went nowhere. Oh, yeah, I'm going to college. Man, 4 semesters enrolled by. You ain't enrolled. You ain't did none of the stuff you said. People that got babies now. People that broken relationships, did stupid stuff. Some people on their way to jail. Some of them addicted to drugs. It's going to be your classmate. Because I told them the same thing with us. When we graduate, people that graduated in 01, some people didn't make it. And that's life. And that's all because you didn't choose. And I knew with me, hey, man, you come pick me up on graduation. I need to go. I need to get out of here immediately, my situation, because anything can happen. Yeah. Anything can pop off. And as you can see, life can change just like that.
Overnight.
I'm telling you, your whole life can be ruined just on a simple mistake or anything. That's why you got to be willing to take those risks and jump out there. And I don't know. I said that's been my personality. I've been in law enforcement. I put on a vest and gun to go to work. That's a risk every day. It gets to the point that taking those risks become, to me, that's second nature. If I can risk my life on a daily basis, sure, I can risk a paycheck or money or something. That don't bother me, like, because you can recoup that. I can't recoup my life, So that's how my mindset started being. When I started wearing that, I like, it almost take away, they call it the John Wayne syndrome. You get in law for, you got a vest and gun. Man, I risk my life every day till it become the norm. When somebody else, if I was to put that vest and that gun on you and put you in a patrol car, you probably would have a panic attack. Just thinking that somebody might, where are we? That's how you're going to be doing, because it take a while before you control. And I'm learning this. If you're going to manage, let's say mitigate the risk. That's what you got to do, mitigate the risk. We're in training, and the other day, the dude told me, you won't ever make it in this until you control your breathing. Forget the technique. He said, that's what you do. You doing like that, you ain't even learning that, because you got to control your breathing. He said, you got to start working on breathing technique. Staying calm underneath pressure. Somebody on top of you, got their knee in you. What am I panicking for when ain't nothing happening? I'm panicking for the thought of what I'm thinking finna happen to me. Yeah. So you letting this right here kill you and destroy you when it ain't even happen. And that's what we do in life. We'll let something due on Friday. It's Sunday now. Now it's due Friday. You'll let Friday take Sunday from you. The devil, you don't know what? A bank truck might roll over. I don't know what might happen. They make a deposit in the wrong account and I come up 100,000. I don't know. You don't know what might happen. The person you owe might check out. You don't know. Yeah. I told somebody the business might shut down. We don't know. In this economy, everything that's going on, you panic over something. People talking about repossessing your car, the whole dealership might close. You don't know what's gonna happen. So before I let you stressing me out on something, yeah, I remember when we first got married, you said you wouldn't be answer, you won't open none of them bills and let. No, I ain't got enough for them. And then let's leave them up there. Ain't no use of me. No use of me opening the bill and ruining my day when I know I can't pay it. Leave that on the table. Yeah, you really could have left that in the mailbox. Don't take it out until you got the money, man. Come see me when I get paid. You ain't finna stress me out. No. And I love it when people call. I told one person on the phone, you calling like it's your money. Come get it. If you talking that big and bad, you got my address on there. Come get the money. Yeah. You ain't finna stress me out. I done seen people cry like that. Man, you crazy, man. I'm finna eat ice cream, chilling. No, I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't have it. You're not finna worry me. People stressing everything. You're not finna stress me out over something. No, we don't have it, man. Well, when I get it, you'll know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. See, I'm just telling you. Why? Risk versus reward. I don't have no fear, baby.
We were talking about faith moves.
That's it. I'm telling you. I just told you, don't let fear.
How these lepers made a faith move that caused a breakthrough. But I do want to do this because we are running out of time here a little bit. But I want to encourage somebody to just stop surviving.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The lepers chose not to just sit
stagnant
on the outside of the city, stagnant, alienated, outcast.
Yeah.
And just survive. Because honestly, you would. Yeah. You think you're surviving, and honestly, you are dying spiritually.
Slowly.
Your finances are getting worse. Your health is getting worse. Stop just surviving or thinking you survive. Because the crazy thing is, and then he uses here in the text to say that the lepers didn't just survive, but they became the most unlikely messengers. Because you see a leper coming, you liable to run. I ain't gonna lie. The idea of a leper coming to give me a message, I got to get gone. And I know that is some broken up English, but I don't want what you have. Blessings from the Lord. That's it, right? So I'm getting away from you. So what you got don't get on me.
Yeah.
God used the most unlikely of persons to be messengers, to bring a message of, or to leave for us a message of provision. Yeah. At the very least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stop just surviving or thinking you're surviving, because you do not know how God is going to use you, how he's going to use your situation to help pull somebody else out.
True.
How he's going to use all of those things that you think are so bad, being rock bottom and all of that. How is God going to use that to bring glory to him? How is he going to use it to deliver somebody, to help somebody to overcome their very own situation? How is your situation going to help your friends, your sisters, your cousins, your family to overcome or to come into the knowledge of Christ? So my encouragement for you today, don't just survive. Step out on faith and watch a breakthrough happen.
Yeah.
And it might not happen overnight.
No.
Like in the text, it was overnight. But that's because the prophet hadn't spoke, right?
But check out.
There's no prophet speaking.
You don't know how long they sat out there, though. When the word came, it happened overnight. He said immediately, so the next day. But you don't know how long it was before they got to that next day. And what I mean by that, well, they said that they gave 10 years, 5 years, 10 months. So, yeah, you don't know how long they've been lepers.
Now, when the blessing finally came,
it came
overnight.
It came.
Well, how long did they have to suffer
before you received it? Yeah. And the script don't tell you that. Yeah.
I don't know how long you've been going through it. I don't know how long you will go through it. Whatever it is, don't let it have you. You have it.
Yeah, period.
Learn from it, grow from it, build off of it, you know? Yeah. So that's what I want to encourage you to do today. Don't let your situation have you so down that you done gave up on life. You done gave up on all your hopes and dreams. You done gave up on God.
What that mean?
Listen.
What that mean when your situation have you? What is it?
When your situation have you,
what that
like
look
you
like?
in your situation, and it just don't look like there's no hope.
Yeah.
So now I'm depressed. I have no faith. I'm not operating in faith. I'm not operating in biblical principle anymore because I don't trust it. I don't know if I believe it. Like I believe in God, but He ain't doing nothing, you know. Yeah. I think we've all had a moment where we doubt it, right?
Yeah.
Don't let your situation have you in the place where you're doubting God, where you're doubting the hand of God, the move of God, the existence of God. But let your faith move you into your breakthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let it consume you to the point that's all you see.
Or and like he said, listen, I ain't got it, so I ain't even looking at it. So
but I'm saying, I ain't even because I ain't let it consume it. And that's just me. That's how I deal with stuff. Maybe, everybody else different. But I tell them, don't let nothing consume you. I believe what you're saying when you said let your situation have you versus you having your situation. It's okay. Like you say, somebody say it's okay to be broke, but it's not okay to be poor. Poor. Okay. They said two different things. Broke is I don't have the funds right now. Poor is a mindset that I'm here, that I'm beneath, I'm low, and this is my status. Nah, I'm in between point. Yeah, it's broken. It's a mindset, like you said.
And when you said that though, it states exactly what I mean when I say don't let your situation have you.
Yeah.
You have your situation. It's the difference in being broke.
Yeah.
Or broken.
Yeah.
Broke again. I don't have it right now. Yeah. Broken. I don't have it. I ain't gonna have it. Like I have no hope, no faith in it. Like that's something on the inside. Yeah. Right? Versus being broke. That's a physical manifestation that we can see. Yeah. That can always change.
Poor is the mindset.
Yeah, definitely mindset.
Remember I say, we're going through financially and I would have meetings and checking stuff out. And we'll say this in a minute. We done been in houses that we could not afford. No reason. Really tell the truth, like my dad said, if they would have checked our credit, they would have called police on us for sure for being in them people's houses. But what is going to hurt you to put your clothes on? Ain't nobody know what's in your pocket. You didn't let what's in your pocket get in your head. Nah, that was like, nah, I might not have the money, but you got to realize my mind. I'm rich up here.
This is something $9.04 an hour.
Finna pull up like balling.
In $1 million home.
Balling.
Envisioning myself there.
Yeah, in there. Put on your
what I would do and what I would change.
Put on your Easter suit or whatever clothes you got, the best outfit you got. Show up there like you own the place. Like, yeah, you gonna pull out, nah, I ain't feeling that. I'll let my realtor get with you when it's time. No, good well if I put my name on that paper. Oh, he got his own. Yeah, I let my realtor contact you when I'm ready. Right now, because I just pay cash. Don't make me stun on you. I'll stun all day up in that bad boy. But the thing is, it's the mindset. That's the difference. I would tell somebody else be like, man, I wouldn't even dare, man. I couldn't imagine living over here or doing this or being in it. No, what is going to hurt you go get some test drive? Like, you got a driver's license, that's how they going to ask. Can we get a copy of your driver's license put in there? They ain't finna run that. Now, just make sure you go around the block and come back in them people's stuff. But it's the mindset. Sometimes you just need to sit in it. My wife good on this. I remember when she got this Range Rover, we sat in it and drove it or whatever, because it was one of them cars that I said I wanted. In my mind, I got all kinds of squirrels. But it's just the experience. So you could say you even been in there, know what it feel like, know what it smell like. Let me get around this environment. No, I don't know these group of people, but I know they where I want to be at. I could come in and sit in the room, or I could just connect with them and then pull somebody to say, hey, do you mind if I talk to you for a minute? Hey, see what you got going on? Anything you can point out for me, somebody on a job that's successful in the area. I pick people's brain. And when the brain I'm picking now when I'm at work, I'm talking to guys that getting ready to retire. Like, what they look like? Hey, did you pay? Okay, profit. Okay, this is what you got coming in, Social Security. I don't think I'm going to have Social Security because they taking away. So then the conversation I'm having, because I'm talking to people that's 20 years my senior. Hey, man, that car, that's stupid. I did that, still paying on me and my wife. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, if you're going to do this right here. Have you looked at your TSP, what's your investment? And what I'm saying is, sometimes it's just those conversations of what you don't know. And that's what they had. I'm going back. I chasing squirrels, but we're coming back to the tree. Here it is, back at the tree. The leopards, they had people in a group that they bounced. Somebody might say, what if we go back? Then, like, nah. Then somebody else brought up, Well, if we stay, well, then somebody say, well, we could take our chance here. They all input on what could be the next stage. And notice nobody stayed behind. So whatever that group did, they move in the unit. And sometimes that's what you need. You need to be around people that's willing and ready to move so you can make those changes in your life. And sometimes that means you might have to change this current circle. This cool. We grew up together. I love you. I wish you the best, but you don't want what I want. Yeah. So I would tell somebody like, man, you don't hang out. You want to go because that's all you want. So you got time for that. I got a wife. I got a kid. I don't have time to sit up and we talk about what happened at work. I'm trying to make stuff happen. And when I make stuff happen, we get there, we can sit back and chill now. But I can't have my time consumed with just we trying to hang out. We trying to go kick it. We on the game and all that, bro. If you grown like that, and I tell a grown man like this, unless you playing the game and you making money. I ain't hating on the ones making money. But if you one of them players, you ain't good like that, you ain't making no money, bro, you need to be thinking about something else. What else is going to bring in income? Because you're being lazy. If you on somebody's job, and I just told my son, I let him go for a whole year. Now I'm about to get on his nerve. If you on somebody else's job and you don't like their job for one, or even if you do like their job, you living in this environment, this country we in, you don't think you ought to have your own? You ain't working on that? You on somebody else's job, you going to be there for the next 20 years, or you let somebody else going to control you for the rest of your life? I was all at the prison. I'm locked up. You can't bring books, pens by. I done snuck everything in my pocket. So I'm gonna do just like the inmates. I'm gonna put it all the way back in when I'm walking through the interlock. Like, search me. I done snuck it in. I find out how to sneak. Because I'm not finna sit on your job 12 hours and you think I ain't finna work for myself on here? No, ideas, plans, sermon ideas. Hey, if I had my own business, I should do my own security company. I do this, we do boots. Because in my mind, I would never be stagnant and stationed here because I know if I ever work for somebody, just a boss, I'm going to always be limited. In my mind is, if you paying me this, then what you making? That's how I always been. Like, I always thought about what they making upstairs, what they doing. So it made me want to drive and push and have those conversations. And that's, unfortunately, that's been the story of my life. I came in the military, I saw a drill instructor. I want to do that. He tell everybody what to do. Everybody scared of him. Like, he walk around here, he got that hat on, people show him respect, people move out the way. It look like a shortcoming. People just open up. You had that hat on? I said, oh, that's me. That's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be a drill instructor. And I went to go get that hat. And that's what I got in my military career. Cause I always put a target in front of me. That's what I need to achieve. Okay, they gotta have 100% of everything. I could do that. And then I'm going to pursue it because I always wanted to be, I guess, leader. That's just in my nature or whatever. I believe a leader ought to be out front. But I'm saying that in your everyday life. That might not be everybody's story. But I think just like the men, don't get so comfortable in your situation that you just settle for that. You gonna die if I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. And I'm gonna give you this. And I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't want to live long. I want to live full. Now, if I happen to live long, that's great. But the key to living full is making sure I'm maximizing long and empty. But I just want to make sure I'm living full. Yeah. Meaning, if God had me here I want to make sure them 70 years were full. Yeah. That I die empty when I go to the grave. That all my ideas, stuff, and you can watch it on social media because I post everything in my mind, some concept pop in my head because I feel like, why would I hold or retain any of this stuff when he only gave me one life? So let me maximize it. Let me make sure I love hard. Make sure I show my family I love. Make sure I show support. Make sure I put effort on myself, taking care of my body, doing what's necessary because I want to make sure I show God I'm a good steward of what you gave me. All this stuff you put in my hand, all these ideas, I did not bury my treasure. And I feel like some people going to be ashamed when God showed them, hey, this all the stuff I had for you, but you never took a risk. I done gave all these treasures I done put in earthen bodies, and I gave you multiple treasures, and you didn't even exercise because you let your leprosy make you think I didn't call you. Just think if they would have just said that leprosy put them in a situation to go. Because notice the people in the gate didn't get the blessing. It's the people, so you could almost be messy and say the leprosy caused them to, because the only people that received the initial blessing was the people that had the leprosy. So back to what you said earlier, the very thing you think disqualifying you, it could be the very thing to get there. That's the very thing God want to use. The very thing you think your kryptonite that's hindering you, that's your sin that nobody else wanted, outcast you, that could be the very thing that God used to shoot you right into your blessing. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So, y'all.
Y'all.
We Out of time.
Out of
He
message, but not out of
started
minutes.
chasing a squirrel.
And I come right back to the tree though.
But he did. He run around the tree and
Don't-
then he come back.
Don't make me go get Cindy. Cindy gonna go to the water.
We're not gonna deep sea diving today.
All right, SpongeBob.
He chased the squirrel and that squirrel led us into testimony period.
Wow.
Which is good though, because I like you.
Really,
You know, I
really.
love sitting up talking to you. You know this already. But at the end of the day, squad goals.
Squad goals.
Get a squad or make sure you're a part of a squad that's not going to let you settle, that's not going to just let you survive. I know that sometimes your situation may look very dim. You and your squad may be very dim. But remember that God uses the most unlikely. And he can use you to be a blessing to so many people.
Right.
So don't let your situation keep you down because it's not meant to keep you down. It's meant to build you up. Use it as your launching pad. Guys, we want to say thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
For sharing with us, for joining us, for being with us on this journey. As we study the Bible in our own little way, we hope that there was something you could take from the squad goals that's going to help you in your friendships and relationships as you grow and mature from every facet. Guys, we need you to like the video, to share the video.
Please.
If you want to support by way of Cash App, you can do so at ICANN365. You can also sow by going to Givelify. Look for Impact Church DFW. You'll see our picture there because there are a couple of Impact DFWs.
Yeah.
I know that.
But you want the real impact.
Oh my God. It's over right now. Again, guys, thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. Please tune in next month. It's our anniversary month.
It's our anniversary.
Love and marriage. Love and marriage. They go together. Y'all remember that? Tune in next month. It's our love month, guys. Thank you so much. Until
grace and peace.